Sunday, 15th of June, Martin's test shaves. Time I did a little refresh on this very fine Philharmonica, which I used only the other day. I've got about 2 days worth of stubble, but the first things first, as I promised, I'm going to try and do, I'm not a secondary bevel exactly, a cross between a secondary bevel and a refresh. So first things first, the spine I have already taped, and that's with this horrible stuff. This is the Captain Polyamide heat-proof tape. This is a very, 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 very thin tape, and I don't like it. Frankly, it gives a tiny, tiny bit of uplift on your edge, but not very much. So I don't like that one. If you're actually honing, I wouldn't advise it. However, my favourite here is the Scotch heavy duty grade vinyl electrical tape. And this is good stuff. This is the black thick tape most of us will use. But for today's purposes, and this is only a refresh, I've used this horrible polyamide, which I don't like, the Captain. Anyway, just show you a couple other things. That's a pasted strop. That's with the wonderful Thiers Isard Pit Arasière. This is the white, which has got the white, it was white, paste on it. As you can see, I have used it a few times. So I'll give a few strokes, just a couple of strokes on this, and then I'll do a few more strokes on this. This again is a loom strop, and it's got a light coating of the green crocks. And this is the special green crocks, because I like Puma. This is the Puma. This is the sheath paste for Strickremen, for razor men, I presume that means. Anyway, that's the green. This needs refreshing, but I'm not going to. So what we're going to do first is just give a couple of laps on the white, because the white is actually quite a potent paste. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll give it 20. Just make sure it's got something on it. So I reckon about 20 strokes on white paste. It's just going to refresh the edge. But this Captain tape, not convinced. However, because I'm not convinced, we'll do just a few more on the green, because this green is a very fine paste. You can have finer. Again, for most purposes, the green chrome oxide is pretty good, I find. But if you really want to give, so that's now kept the bevel angle more or less similar. But to give it a little final touch, which I hadn't prepared for, what I would suggest is to go to a linen strop. Saves all the hassle. But we've still got the tape on, remember? So let's put this fine beast hanging like that. And this is a very nice quality, I think it's a flax. Flax, yeah, it's a flax. And that one, and about 20 on that. Reverse to the other side, nice and clean. I reckon about 20, give or take, on the plain side. Now in theory, all I've done is I've just lightly refreshed the edge, and that took what? 4 minutes 29 seconds, so it's not a big deal, is it? So now I'm going to remove this vile tape, which I've never liked. If you're using this on a stone, you don't need to try and peel it off. It wears through and peels itself off because it's rubbish. However, that's the Captain tape removed. This is our lovely little, this is of course quite an old beast. This is the This is the Philharmonica Nova Door for Professionals. It's a Philly 14. It was used the other day by me, and that was just to remind me to do a refresh, which probably hasn't worked that well. Anyway, we'll give that a go. I'm just going to wet my mush just for a sec. Do bear with me. I know it's not a pretty sight. Warm water, flannel. I still maintain preparation is critical. You can almost dry shave if you really want to. I still think warm water is preferable, and that should do me. As we're doing a little test, I'm going to use the same brush. There's a surprise. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going to use the same very high quality, awfully good quality, Trufferton Hill. This is the luxury shaving soap, which will last, by the way, for ages and ages, so I'm not ashamed to keep using the same one. It is quite a kind soap. If you're doing comparison shaves, does it not make sense to use the same brush and the same soap? Otherwise, you've got conflicting data. So let's get a quick lather, and we'll see how the very quickly improved, hopefully improved, edge on this Philly Nova Door works. Again, I sing the praises of synthetic brushes because, as you can see, with very little effort and about one stroke on the soap, you get a very adequate slick lather. Look at that. That to me is more than good enough. And it's taken exactly, what, 30 seconds? Anyway, let's put this down for a sec. Most important thing, which I forgot to mention, again, do try and keep your mitts nice and dry, especially when dealing with large razors or small razors. So that hopefully is me ready to go. Let's try this lightly refreshed Philharmonica. Well, well, well. Yep. Well, that didn't do it any harm. No hesitation. No drag at all. Slight on the moustache area because it's pretty thick stuff actually. But on my last shave with this same razor, there was a little bit of drag, not a lot, but a little bit. Just under the chin. But not today. I think most of us find just under the chin, about there. Very awkward angle and very, very stiff. But just to prove I'm not messing about. Yeah, it's doing a good job. However, let's do left hand, do the other side. Left side of my mush. This is usually the more difficult side because I'm right-handed. Yeah, I'd say percentage-wise, 15% better, maybe. Yeah, it's clean. No hesitation. I got the hesitation 1, I got the hesitation 2. Hey babe, I got the hesitation blues. Yeah, that's good. So, in conclusion, 4 minutes and you can refresh and even slightly give a micro bevel. I'm not claiming this is a full micro bevel, I'm not, but it was a refresh. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'd put this edge against anybody's. It's a very, very much improved edge. I'll give another pass just because I want to. 9 minutes 57. One more pass and we're done. So it's not a bad little effort, I think, especially as I've just come back from the seafront. Did some quite remarkably nice slinging. You've got to get out early mornings in the UK if you're near the sea, where all the crowds come down and then you're stuffed. People don't seem to appreciate their kids being hit by flying stones, so you've got to be very careful. Listen to that. That's a Philharmonica 14 at its best. Yep. Philly. A gentleman, Alex, I believe, did ask me how many Philharmonicas I actually have, and I've lost count. I'm not messing about, I can't remember. So I'm going to have a little look today, but my aim was to get a representative sample of Philharmonicas from every one of their styles, and I think I have. Oh, that's nice. The Nova Door is a very good name for Philharmonica. This one is fairly early, I'd say. It's got the straight address, so it's not a Series 1. I don't think the Nova Door was made as a Series 1. I think it's only ever been a Series 2. I'll go across the moustache. 2 seconds. Oh, that's quite a lot of stuff coming off. Yeah. Very little there. First pass did it. Yeah, that's good. Well, quite honestly, chaps, that'll probably do me. I'll just do a little check over. One of the passes I rather enjoy. I don't do it all the time. I'll show you, as this is going to be marginally longer video, 12 minutes 19 seconds at the moment, end counting. But I do find if you really want to get the odd stubble under the chin, you've got to try different angles, or you've got to be prepared to do lots and lots of multi-passes. And that's BBS. Yeah, I'm very happy. Good shave. With a very good razor, which has been mildly refreshed. I say mildly. I'm not claiming to be a wizard, but I did promise Sean, Mr. Staplefield in Puerto Rico, I did say I'd try and revisit a refresh method. Micro bevel would be a slightly different fish. Micro bevel, you're talking about going to a very, very fine grit stone. Take the back, fine grit stone to get the quintessential micro bevel, which Devon, our dear friend Devon Jackson, has already shown. So there's no need, is there? No need for me. Anyway, there she is. That is a lightly refreshed Philharmonica Nova Door 14. Do you remember golden rule, second golden rule, which is, of course, when you're talking about a carbon razor, you've got to make sure it's dry. The best thing is to probably give it a wipe with a very dry towel, and then, of course, a very light, should you wish, a very light strop. Personally, I don't think it really needs it, but if you're going to give it a good strop, do it on a decent strop. And that's a very decent strop. That's the Llama brand, which of course is the famous Japanese gentleman. And these are now getting very sought after. Kaneyama. And there's the Kaneyama 3000. This one I purchased second hand in very good condition from Gary. Thank you so much, Gary. This is my go-to. I don't believe in using a rough strop after a shave. If the shave has been a good shave, you've already got a pretty good edge. But this does help to straighten the little micro teeth, which everybody goes on about, and slightly sort of resets the edge for the next event. But It also dries the edge. To put away a damp razor should be a capital offence. Anyway, there she goes, chaps. I'm now going to just get rid of any resistant suds. Throw a little bit of aftershave on, and we're fit for the day. I hope. I'm going to use the same as last time. I'm going to use the Clubman Pinard. This is very nice stuff. It's not as vicious as some. It has got alcohol, but it's got a lovely lemony zest. Yeah, that'll do. Fit for the rest of the day. Hope you enjoyed this, chaps. Martin's test shows. Give it a tick if it was any use to you, and a like or whatever. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you all soon, I hope.